One name, one day, one man, and a question that has remained unanswered for half a century. Jimmy Hoffa. A name forever etched into the history of American crime. A man who commanded millions. And then, in a single moment in time, it all ended, vanished, without a trace, without a body, without any answers. Jimmy Hoffa was no ordinary worker. No. He was born on the ruthless streets of Detroit. Streets where every day was a battle. Years of hard work, years of fighting, and eventually he succeeded. But not ordinary success. He became the head of the Teamsters Union, the leader of 5 million workers across the entire United States. One word from him, one letter from him, one command from him could bring the nation to its knees. Presidents feared him. Corporations pleaded with him. He wasn't just a man, he was an empire. And empires, they never fall easily.
Jubilant Jimmy Hoffa sweeps in as new president of the Teamsters.
But power has no price. And Hoffa learned this lesson far too late. As a young man, he worked with criminal organizations, the Mafia, the network that controlled nearly the entire East Coast. They gave Hoffa money, lots of money, huge amounts. In return, Hoffa worked for them, secretly, covertly, illegally. For years, this dangerous relationship continued. But Hoffa forgot one fundamental rule in the world of organized crime. Nobody escapes the network. Never.
It's all there.
And when Hoffa became less useful, when he tried to free himself, when he attempted to operate independently, the Mafia made a decision. Either he complies, or he disappears. Forever.
Every strike we have with employers who really want to fight, they revert to hiring hoodlums. And unless we know who our enemy is, unless we're in a position to do something about it.
It's been stated publicly that I'm controlled by gangsters. I am not controlled by them. I don't care to try and recall back my entire lifetime since I started working at the age 17 as to how I accumulated money or how I spent it to finally arrive at having $20,000 I could afford to invest and finally lost.
Could you answer, was it in cash that you put it in?
Yes.
Do you have any record of it?
No.
Could you tell us where you got the cash?
I accumulated it.
1967, the year when everything changed. The FBI and the Department of Justice attacked Hoffa, fabricated charges, political pressure, internal corruption, and at the end of the line, 5 years in prison. Sent to Lewisburg Federal Penitentiary, a place where even kings in concrete eventually submit to the system. A place where control is taken from you. A place where the only thing you control is your mind. But Hoffa, even behind steel bars, Hoffa remained a king. He wrote orders by mail. He commanded from a distance. Even in a cage, he was undefeated. (1971). President Nixon, or perhaps the government, or perhaps someone else, decided to pardon Hoffa. Freedom. Released from prison. But not the kind of freedom he wanted. This was freedom with strings attached, strict conditions, severe restrictions. You cannot return to the Union. You cannot lead. You cannot live as you did before. This devastated Hoffa. He was out, but still imprisoned, a prisoner without walls. He tried to work, he tried to reclaim his power, but every door slammed shut. He was now just a man without influence, and for a former king, that's a prison worse than any cell.
Another bell rings, you go to breakfast, come back to your room, wait for the next bell to ring, you go to work, and then you work, and then you come for lunch, another bell, and then you come back to your cell, another bell, back to work, back into your cell in the evening, another bell, send you to dinner, and then you come back to your room and you wait for the recreation period by another bell. And it's constantly a matter of chimes and bells that annoy anybody in their right mind by letting you know that they control you and you will do what they want. And it's like a rote mental beating of your brain with those chimes and bells and guards at night, 4 times a night, shining a light in your face to see if you're in a cell already locked in. What they expect you to get out, I don't know. It's like being in a hospital when the nurse wakes you up 3 o'clock in the morning, wants to know if you're there. Take your own home, bring in 3 families, and put the 3 families into your home without any children. If they have children, it'll be worse, and then you have a prison. It'll destroy any home, no matter how beautiful the setting is, and prisons are never beautiful, they're horrible.
July 30th, 1975. Years of waiting come to an end. This cannot be coincidence. Powerful men in the criminal underworld, they plan everything meticulously. Hoffa has a meeting scheduled. The Macus Red Fox Restaurant, Michigan, 2:30 in the afternoon. An important meeting about his return to power, probably. Or maybe about one final job. Or maybe something else entirely. Hoffa enters the building. The restaurant doors close. Minutes pass, hours tick by, and then nothing. No phone call, no message, no sound. The street is empty. Hoffa never comes out. Time passes. Someone needs to look for him, and they find nobody. Jimmy Hoffa vanishes forever. Right at the moment he should have been at his strongest. Right at the moment he was about to lose everything. He becomes a mystery, eternal.
There are many, many calls coming into the Secret Witness program, the Detroit News, and that each and every lead is being run down, and some of the leads are interesting and some are worth following up, and others obviously are not.
Appeal to the some 2 million brother and sister Teamster members for them to aid us in solving this heartbreaking mystery.
The search begins. An unprecedented investigation. 85 square kilometers. Every government agency, FBI, state police, local law enforcement, Hoffa's grieving family. They searched everywhere. Every street, every alley, every building. But they found nothing. No body, no bones, no teeth, no hair, no evidence whatsoever of where Hoffa went. No crime scene, no credible witnesses, just questions. Questions without answers. Questions that remain open to this day. Where did he go? Who did it? Why? How? And most importantly, how could nobody ever find him? This doesn't make sense. This isn't logical. This seems impossible, but it happened.
But where is he? And Where is the FBI?
At the present time, we have no information as to the present whereabouts of Mr. Hoffa.
We have faith that someone, somehow, somewhere can help us locate our father.
Theory number 1, the Mafia. And this theory has a very high probability of being true. Hoffa was damaged goods, worn out, obsolete. Yet still he tried to make a comeback, tried to regain power, tried to give orders again. But the Mafia, a network of violence and control, they don't want a former king acting recklessly. He knew too much. He could testify. He could make noise. He could threaten others. And in the world of organized crime, there's only one solution to this problem: elimination, murder, disappearance. In a way that nobody ever finds the body. In a way that nobody ever understands the truth. Just eternal silence, permanent. And this possibility is exactly what happened.
Hoping that no possibility is too remote to help find Jimmy Hoffa, bumper stickers are being distributed to local Teamsters. This is what it looks like.
I hate to even ask you this question, it's a tough one. Do you really think that he's alive?
I hope he is.
According to spokesman for the Organized Crime Strike Force, there will be a major announcement concerning the Hoffa case.
Theory number 2, the government. And this theory might even be more terrifying. Hoffa knew too many things about classified projects, about the CIA and its role in crimes, about men in government who needed to die, and did. The United States government, they didn't want him talking. They didn't want him as a witness. They didn't want him exposing their crimes. And a government that wants silence, a government with power, a government above the law, has only one option: silence. Permanent, absolute. Men in black, black ops, and a body that is never found. This is possible, more than possible. And Hoffa, he knew far too much to stay alive.
Frankly, I don't get worried about much. Or I would probably have no hair or all gray. Highest single wage of any worker in America. Out of their fight. Our men are strong, militant, willing to fight, and will not surrender, nor will they lay down the battle.
This morning, Hoffa and his family gathered around the Christmas tree and posed for pictures. Mrs. Hoffa, who is still recovering from a serious heart ailment, was overjoyed by her husband's homecoming.
I didn't think it was possible, though I never gave up hope. And my grateful thanks to President Nixon for making this possible.
50 years, half a century, and we still don't know. We still ask, where did he go? Who was responsible? Why? And most importantly, how? Maybe the Mafia, maybe the government, maybe both. Maybe something nobody comprehends. Maybe the truth is darker than all of this. Maybe Hoffa is buried somewhere that will never be discovered. Maybe he's in cement under the ocean. Maybe something completely different. But one thing is certain, Jimmy Hoffa was a man who knew far too much. He was far too powerful. He was far too dangerous. And for those who want to control, for those who want to rule, for those who want secrets kept hidden, Hoffa had to disappear. And now, he's just a legend, a mystery, a question with no answer. A man that someone erased, and the world will never understand.
Love this content? Hit the subscribe button and join our community. Turn on notifications to be the first to watch our new videos.